Hello, everyone, and welcome to the OMA Atlanta race, the only Atlanta race on this season's schedule. But it's going to be an exciting one with a new pole winner. Parker Ness claims the pole after dominating the VNS race just yesterday. The VNS race was ended up being won by Chad Eastwan, which, might I say, I had a bad day in that race. But that's why I'm back up here in the booth, and we're going to have some fun today. But as we wait for the lobby to get set, here is your starting lineup. It's Parker Ness, Ryan Steinberg are on your front row. Then it's Mendez, Moore, Masser, Mazzelli, the 4Ms. We go to Landon, Lyle, Tom, Hawk, and P8. Tyler Glass in 9th, and Kyle England rounds out your top 10. Sammy Marasco starts P11. Your usual VNS commentator. You know, he's gonna take on the VRC track. After that, Drew Juba is on P12. Ryan Miniker starts 13th. Sebastian Kukulon still has arrived at his car. Team's looking everywhere. He is planned to start P14 if he can ever get there. Gavin Hutch 5th in P15. Steven Oberstadt in 16th. Alex Kess Stevens in 17th. Jose Perez in 18th. Stuart Talmadge, again, has not arrived at his car either. And then Eddie Kalegi in 20th. So 3 drivers, question marks around if they're going to start this race. But let's try to do a little pre-race interview with the race at hand. But as we're going to tune into the radio, of these drivers getting ready to go green. What do you want to do? What are these drivers going to do? What do they want to do? You know, what are they planning? This race is going to be a challenging one. Tires are a big part of this race if you want to try to win. But as I'm just double checking, the lobby is up and we are good to go. So get ready, get pumped. This race is going to be exciting, and if I haven't added already, we're back in the VNS cars. After last time we were on the broadcast, we were on the Cup side of things. We're getting ready to go. As you know, this is kind of the slow side of the broadcast. You know, we're kind of waiting for these cars to get underway. But these drivers are getting lined up. You know your starting lineup, and might I add, that is a beautiful Lumiere or Lumo. However you want to pronounce that sponsor. But as we tune into the radio, let's tune in with Parker Ness. Parker Ness is strongly confident that he can lead past the first pit stops, which is what he's going to need to do to try to win halfway. And he's going to just keep his foot on the gas. Ray, but we have a Ford outside line. Chip Mark back in his famed 22 car from previously being in the 74, and that 74 is back there. It's a little switcheroo in the Xfinity Series. Ryan Miniker drives a 74. Both of them having a little lag issues that being in those custom cars. Tim Moore goes to the 22, both Cup in Xfinity or VRC VNS. And Ryan Miniker moves to the 74 because there is no 12. VNS car as the green flag's away. The 98 gets a big jump. Oh, looks like he jumps the restart. Able to back down before the line so he will not get a penalty. But these drivers are fast on the 21 area. For Parker Ness, he will lead, but he needs to continue to lead. He is currently on that cut line if he's going to make the playoffs or not. Getting pole is going to help him a ton here. And here comes the 4. And I'm trying to get who's on board that 4. Carl Wild, chat behind. Look to the outside line. Here he comes. He's in the 48 currently. Pretty sure he's subbing for Riley Goff, who could not make the move. He's just here trying to get his team owner a good run. But out front, here comes the 22 with Tim Moore. He's going down to the inside line. He's trying to make the pass and make it work. Tyler Glass, we haven't seen him in a while. He's up into P3. He's way below the cut line. Has missed about half the season thus far, and so good run these last 2 races. Could get into the playoffs, but it's very unlikely. Now further back, losing a lot of pace. That is going to be Gavin Hutchman. I expect him more to latch onto that lead pack, and he just looks like his car is all over the place currently. He has to try to regroup, get back up there if he wants to be a strong contender. Maybe finish P4 in the driver's standings. Because remember, Sebastian Coulon is not racing anymore. That's going to open the door for the 2 guys below him. But again, I don't expect Gavin to run this far back. The last mile and a half we were at Charlotte Motor Speedway, Gavin finished inside the top 5. So a good run for him there, but currently he's heading for that. So back up front, Baker is blazing. He's having a good run here today. He's brought a fast car, and he's just kind of keeping it like that. But, you know, just having a solid day, being quite under the radar is not the worst thing to happen for a driver. As I still don't, I'm trying to get everything underway, but you know, all these number changes kind of, that's all they're trying to do. They kind of screw the mind a bit. That's nothing to worry about. Yeah, this broadcast it's kind of going south. Not my best broadcast. I'm just first broadcast in a while. Got to get back into the groove of things as I'm trying to get the roster up, and I have the 4 of Zachary Mendez. Sorry, I could been it all wrong. Trying to but Mendez looking. He sees the battle up front between Glass and Moore. And he's going to try to make the move. Now the 4 sticking behind the 18. Is he planning on riding in this pack, or is he going to try to make a move underneath? He looks underneath. Tyler Glass closes the door, and Parker Ness continues to lead. It seems like the 22 has a quicker car at the moment. Now the 22, he has the run. He's continuing to push to the onboard camera. He's on the bumper. He's looking high. Try to make the move, but Tyler Glass is making the move on Tim Moore. Below, Tyler Glass having help from the 4. Are they going to get past the 22? 22 is going to carry some outside momentum. Will be enough momentum? Yes, draft. No, Tyler Glass able to pass him on the bottom. Now, Tim's just going to have to find a gap to get in here. He's able to file in between the 4 and the 98, but two spots lost, and Tyler Glass looks trying to look for the lead here. Currently, Tyler Glass is 7 below, so missing the races that he has, missed. Not the worst thing in the world. He's been able to have strong runs when he's, shown up. But when he hasn't shown up, that's what's hurting him. The being where he is second compared to Kyle England, who's already in the back. It's a 7-point gap. If he's able to finish where he is right now, that's going to send Kyle England below the playoffs. And for Dark Horse Racing, that's not what they need. They only have they're a 3-car team, just like every other team. But they only have 1 car in the playoffs. If we look here, it's going to be a battle between Spooky Goofy and Dark Horse, see who get their last car in. As we look at the playoff field, Kevin for Hey Harvick Racing is looking very solid with Casey Master, but they're another one of those teams. Ooh, you have 1 driver up front, but the rest of the drivers aren't able, to challenge like Casey Master is. I think it was with Casey Master, Tim Moore's review. They're all locked, but they have no other teammates in the playoffs. All their teammates are battling on the cut line, like a Steven Orberstadt, Tyler Glass, and Kyle England. Those 3 are all within a 31-point gap, 33-point gap in that range. And one thing could happen in a race that sends one of them out. And having really not reliable teammates that are already locked into the playoffs can be a struggle for some of these teams. But, if we look on the bright side, McGinnis Motorsports has 2 guys who should be locked in at the end of the day if they can salvage good runs. Sebastian Kugelon missing this race, but he should be in the clear even if he does. With a new winner, that could change things, but unlikely. Gavin Hutchfield, he's currently in the back, slowly working his way up. And again, another solid McGinnis car. But then you have the 24, you have the 14. ORR not having the best season they've been hoping for. You have 1 guy in the playoffs. That's contact behind, 1 car on the wall. And that's the 41 car, Garcia Autosport car. All over the place. Well, let's try to get on board with the 41 machine. Kind of see what the issue is. That's Tomahawk making what I think is his VRC debut. Is a solid DNS driver, top 4 in the points, and goes up to the VRC series and is really showing what he is about. But with these new series, you got to get used to the way you race. Sorry, this broadcast is just awful. We're gonna do a little broadcast reset here. We're try to get these numbers in place, try to get solid. But while we've been talking about who's on the, let's talk about who is out of the playoffs. Mark Boog, 154 back, mathematically out of it. Jared Tallman, 184 back, started late, made 1 start at Talladega. He's 18. Daniel Work had issues with both series, couldn't make the top series anymore, and has moved back to DNS, trying to make the playoffs, and he's far out. Dr. Bach, rookie, only made 2 starts, hasn't shown up since. Pizzo quitted his team early in the season, and those 5 are mathematically out. Guy is very on the backhand, on the back foot here. Probably not going to make it in after this race unless something out of the ordinary happens. Ryan Miniker, 100 points back. Close to him, Jose Perez and Sam Marasco, both 99 and 94 back. But Parker Ness is still leading. But as we hear over the radio with Casey Master, he's not really racing for nothing right now. Halfway, lap 82 is a long way to go, and he's going to just sit back, relax, just try to go with the pack, not lose any position, and just be patient about the positions he's gaining, not to be too over-aggressive, not too under-aggressive. But one team to look at here, I do want to point out, is Spooky Goofy Motorsports. They got Alex Stevens, who started late. They got Tyler Glass, who's 7 points out. So they, in theory, could get their whole team in the playoffs. If Alex can somehow win today, win next race, or at least be the top 3 in both, he could shoot up from 28 back and get in the playoffs. Tyler, that's only 7 out. He could also be in the playoffs, making. They're looking like the only team that could get all of their cars. So, if you ask me right now who is the best team, I would say it's Spooky Dookie. They got majority of their cars where they want them to be. And that's what you need. Now, again, as you might say, well, there's 2 cars in the playoffs. Yes, but you need a solid team all around. And with the 17 where it is now, they haven't found a solid driver all season to fill it. That has been that team's issue. But let's look back at the lead. Tyler Glass still putting the pressure on the 24 of Parker Ness. And he's looking for a way to get around him. Tim Moore able to slowly make his way up. He's looking at the outside of the 18. That didn't work last time, but it's not working. I don't think it's going to work this time either, but he has help this time. 98 and the 48. Those 2 drivers are going with him. And currently what's very important for Tim Moore, where he's running, he's currently your champion, or regular season champion leader. He's battling with Casey Master to get those extra bonus points to start the playoffs. A whopping 15 points compared to 10. The difference between finishing first and finishing second. So with that much of a gap, he needs that. Tim Moore only having 2 wins on the season, he doesn't have that many bonus points compared to Casey Masher, who has already 4 wins on the season. Or sorry, correct, 3 wins. So, you know, that may be my prediction tonight. Casey Masher having already a solid season thus far. I say he's the one to watch tonight. But as our first group of guys coming out pit road, Drew Jua will stay out. Now here he comes. And the 41 Tomahawk and Drew Jua. And that leaves 1 car out, who was not in that first group. That leaves Sammy as your current race leader, if I'm not wrong about that. I'm trying to get an update from race control. We are on lap 22, so these drivers making it 22 laps, trying to stretch it to lap 82. You got to pit 3 times in this stage, and it's going to be a long one. Some of those who can save take less on the final stage, but is the time lost really going to make up the time gain? Well, we'll find that out later. Back to provisional back, Tyler Glass in 3rd. Tim Moore off those pit stops early around him. Currently, you're watching, look at that 35, look at the 18, that's your cut line right now. Those 2 drivers on either side of it, and those 2 know that they didn't have to have a good run to beat the other. Currently, where Tyler Glass is sitting, he'll be 1 point above Tyler Glass. Or, sorry, not in the playoffs, but he'll be 1 point above if the playoffs were to end today. Now he's looking below Landon Lyle. 2 ORR cars. We talked about them not having a really good season. Well, on the flip side, VNS Landon Lyle's been the most dominant car, I would say, in VNS history. While the wins might not show it, having 7 different winners in 9 races, and Landon Lyle being the only repeat. You also got to look at the fact that Landon Lyle has over a 100-point lead on everyone else. Already locked up the regular season championship 2 races ago. Now, Parker Ness still leading after the first pit stop. Remember, when we talked to him before the race started, he needed to lead out of the first pit stop if he wanted to try to do it because we're halfway, because he knows if he would have failed that pit stop, things would not have gone well. But here comes Kyle England making his way past the 98, and now he's trying to get up there where the 18 is. Underneath, here comes the 98. He's now battling with Kyle England. That's Ryan Steinberg, and usually drives the 14. He has been troubled as Tim Moore and Ryan Miniker, so that's why he's in a different number for this Xfinity Series. Below, Landon Lyle cuts through the grass and gets to the inside of Kyle England as Parker Ness continues to lead at Atlanta. This race is going by quickly. No cautions just yet. but it's sure looking like a good race we will have, especially a good race to the finish if this keeps happening. Now you might be asking, well I see 10, okay, but what are the other two? The 19 is currently under radio on the wrong preset. He wasn't ready to select the preset, which before you get in the lobby, you have the option. He was kind of taking a bathroom break, to say the least. The officials weren't notified, and that's why he's on the default setup, and that's why he's currently struggling. He's not up there with the leader, which, speaking of the leader, Tim Moore is your new leader. He moves Parker Ness out the way, and Parker Ness, after leading every single lap, will not lead this one. Tyler Glass going underneath. Ryan Steinberg joining the inside line party, or what I like to call a freight train. Now the 98 is looking below Tyler Glass, doesn't make the move. Kyle England decides, you know what? Everyone's checking up. I'm going to make the move, making it 3 wide. Kyle England saw the opportunity, making the move, and he knows he has to chase down Tyler Glass to stay above the cut line. Kyle England, you know, what's on the back of your mind? Do I gotta move Tyler Glass? Do I gotta try to get Tyler out the way? Do I bump him now? Do I bump him later? Because, you know, if you try to move him out the way now, how will tempers be the next time you pass him? How will he race you back? And that's what's going to be going through Kyle's mind. You can't make a move too aggressively in the hopes that you don't wreck Tyler Glass. You know, make a dirty bump to get him out the way, or make a over-aggressive move where you wreck yourself. And Collins just gotta be careful that this is one of his best runs this season. Previously, he was, you know, he had a 4th place at Richmond, hit the pit wall. You know, a little discussion with the officials, and he really couldn't get the penalty taken off because they said he committed a violation. Well, after talking through a driver's council, which we do have in the OMA, after the penalty was not taken off due to the circumstances, because his AI once taken over to get into pit road, forced to cross the line, and now there's no commitment code violation. Words were flying out of my mouth about just not putting them in the words. But we're going to take a 15-second intermission to gauge sports identification. And we are back, and some drivers are talking on pit road that they might, or talking on radio, and they might put this on. One of those drivers is the 8 of Casey Master. Having not the day he has wanted, he has to dive down pit road, and he is the first driver to do it, so he's going to be a little off strategy from everyone else. And if he can only run this amount of laps and does this every single time, I'm a little worried that might fall short and not make it toward to halfway where he needs to be. As we watch his pit get service, Tim Moore continues to lead. Parker Ness trying to get the lead back from behind. Here comes Tyler Glass. Parker versus Tyler. We saw this at Chicago. Those two drivers did not like the way they raced each other, and they're currently side by side. Parker Ness in the 24 behind the 22, looking which way he should go. The preferred lane is the low lane, but Moore's been able to hold the inside line so well that you just can't get a nose under there. You can't move him up. So what do you do here? Do you try to pit it earlier than Tim, but not too early? Or you try to send it in on pit road passing there? Just let the pit crews handle it. We'll find out here shortly. Now behind Kyle England, still P4. We're just not able to try to gain on these top three. Tim Moore dominating season thus far. Has missed a start, which has caused him not to be the points leader. But again, I would say Casey Masters and Tim Moore have two dominant ones this season. Casey's shown it more in wins, but Tim's shown it more in consistency. And if we look at consistency, Tim's been able to stay out front, solidly inside the top three. He's currently leading now, but Casey Masters nowhere to be seen. And that's one thing Casey's got to worry about if he wants to try to win this regular season championship. The next race is Darlington, and that is a driver's track. Atlanta, you could say it's a driver's track because you got to save. That's what some people would describe it. And so if we're using that same logic, I don't think Casey Masters will be that good at Darlington either. He hasn't showed that much speed today. And Darlington's a very hard track to pass, just like Atlanta. Atlanta, you can carry the run, but if someone blocks the inside line, you're not going anywhere on the outside line unless you have a really tuned-in setup. But 25 minutes in, and we're about 40 laps. 42 laps, coming to 43 for the leaders. Now Casey Masters on a different strategy like before than the others, pitted about 5 laps early, and so I don't think he can make it to the end. If you have 22 on fuel, 22, that's 88. And so Casey's going to have to really push the fuel limit if he wants to try to get to lap 82. And if it's like that every single time, well, I expect Casey to be at least 2 laps down before everything's said and done. With the exit, so he could not get to the low lean. Almost did. Just missed it, so he's going to go around again. And that's going to leave Tim Moore with a huge gap. Talking about a huge gap, he's also catching a lap car. And as you just hear the sound of the Xfinity cars whistling by, 3 cars come down pit road. 2 Dark Horse and England and Moore, and then Parker Ness, who's been having, I would say, one of the best races of his career in this race alone. So let's look at, 74 gets loose into a Saber Ryan Miniker, looks like the car. So Landon Lyles hits the wall coming in. And the next 2 cars, Tyler Glass, Ryan Steiner, Landon Lyle, all coming up pit road now. So let's try to tune in on some of these radios. Now Parker pit the same time as the other 2 drivers, as we're trying to get to hear over the radio what every team is doing. Tim Moore now passing Tyler Glass. He has the provisional lead. And he spins on the apron hard into the wall, maybe putting it up in time because of the pitch from the 22. And that might cause some issues. Kyle England able to get P2 from pitting with these earlier guys, and he's able to hold off Parker Ness. Now the fourth. Not sure if he's in second or a lap down with all the lap traffic coming through. But Tim Moore is just going past one car left and right. That's Sammy Marasco. He's now lapping 29. And now Kyle England splitting the middle. We're trying to get a good cam. The four's on a lap older tires. And now here comes Parker Ness. Can use the four to his advantage. He's looking low. He's going to continue to push Kyle England. And those who are just trying to get around P4. Now diving through the 4 is currently P4. He pitted a lap later, but he's just trying to get behind and a little slower. So again, if you just get behind these guys, he can race with these guys. He has shown speed throughout this whole season for Garcia Autosport. Has been their main lead car, their main competitive car. Zachary Mendez is far out. He's 59 out. About a whole race behind. So he needs some guys missing races, or he needs to start sweeping the next 2 races. And in the position he is now, he could get solid points if he doesn't F up. Dan Marasco's still your leader. He's off pace, but the strategy could work. Behind the brains of that strategy, I can guarantee you, is Bryce Ward. He's the strategist for his whole team. It's really shown in the win case he's been able to get this season. I don't have the best race control, but I'm trying to keep track of what cars are where on this game. But let's try just pop in to some of these VCs, try to hear some people, and see what people are doing. Now, just getting confirmation. Sorry, Sammy's not going to lead. He's just in an alt strategy, trying to save enough to maybe win halfway. Doing what we saw most guys do last race, try to hop off the pace, eliminate like maybe a 2-tire pit stop. It could work, could not. It just depends how much time you lose. Tim Moore is your leader, and he's a big horde for P2. But Tim Moore out front, showing some dominance. But we have a lot of the race to go. Parker Ness dominated early. Tim Moore is currently leading now. But what's going to happen next? Tim Moore still holds the lead, and he has a huge gap. Really got that car tuned up in the last 2 pit stops, made the correct pit adjustments, and has just been able to stay out front. And he's been showing some really good pace in today's race. you hear the swirling of the tires, how much these drivers are trying to do, using their cars. Tim Moore still leading, but these drivers are slowly but surely reeling them in, working together, pushing down the front stretch, in the corners, and down the back straightaway. If they keep up this pace, they should catch them before the next set of pit stops. But Tim Moore really has that car tuned in, as if we look ahead, this is an interesting sight to behold. Tim Moore about to lap his regular season rival for the regular season championship, Casey Masters, and after this race, he is sure to have the points lead if these two continue to drive the way they are. If Casey Masters stays around P12, P14 area, with Tim Moore still holding the lead. As we are nearing the lap 16, these drivers are getting ready for the last set of pit stops. As JC Master is some technical issues there, but as Casey Master is putting up a fight, Tim Moore is slowly being reeled back to the second pack. So this pack's looking at the 8 car, and they want him to keep slowing down the 22. And if I was the 22, try to send your strategy around here. Maybe pit right now and allow yourself to try to jump Casey Master, get some clear, and that's exactly what he's going to do. Pitting now, trying to get clear, and that's 3 Ford Mustangs going into pits. That's Ryan Steinberg, Tim Moore, piling them, all working together here. These three are used to working with each other through every race. And with working with each other, these three are on the same strategy. But currently out front is Landon Lyle. He'll lead that lap, but more cars driving up pit road. The 19 of Drew Jua in the 24 Park Finesse. The next 2 cars to bring it down. Now coming out the 35, the 22. And Kyle England has really closed the gap on the leader. Had a good pit road entry and was really able to catch Tim Moore. Now, if we just stay this distance, stick with the draft, Kyle England should be in a very good area now. Now over the radio, Landon Lyle says he is pitting this time by. Same with Tomahawk. He does a single leader dive in and down pit road. Here comes the 51, and here comes the 48. "17 laps to go, and that should be the final pit stop till the half." Moore now looking to get under Steven Overstap for the looks like the second time today. Steven tried to stretch out his strategy, pit late, but that's not going to work. Tim Moore is able to get right by him, and he will go a lap down once again. The 98 got past Kyle England, as well as the 4, and Kyle England is going to have to be relegated back into position number 4. So being that close to Tim, he was really not able to utilize all the position he has gotten. After that short intermission, looking back to lead, Tim Moore still leads and has been a dominating lead held since he has passed Parker Ness. It's been a strain on me because I've been hoping for a caution so I can run down, grab some water, my throat turned a little bit. Tim Moore has not let that happen. Let me had a break because he just keeps leading this race. No cautions in sight. It looks like Ryan Steinberg able to remain in second, but Kyle England is running these guys down. Kyle England just passed the 4 of Zachary Mendez, and he looks to do some work on Ryan Steinberg, but it's 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 currently at Atlanta. Now, let's look at the battle between Kyle England and Ryan Steinberg for second place. The 35 dives into low, makes contact with the 98, moves them into the third groove, and the 35 will assume second place. Again, Kyle England has not had the best of runs this season, and the runs he was having that were good. We talked about Richmond before. Last season Phoenix, he looked like he could win from the pole. Again, was on the wrong strategy, and today he's currently P2. He looks like he will finish P2 for halfway. 3 to go here. Tim Moore has the gap. The real battle here is for P2. Now Casey Master letting Tim Moore by. Doesn't want to get in the way, but compromises Kyle England's exit off the corner. Now Zachary's going to look low. Just doesn't have enough room to go low because he was too far back. Didn't have enough space. Now Ryan Steinberg looking low to 4. Those are teammates battling side by side. And England is been able to remain in the second spot. The battle for third is now heating up. Ryan Steinberg diving it below Mendez, and he's going to get the spot. Now can Steinberg work on the 35? Now Ryan's going to dive it low, can't get there, almost got there. The 4 is trying to move him out the way as we are at the white flag. Let's start that tap. Thought it was the end of lap 82. It was the start, and with his start, we're going to do a 3-minute break for you guys to get ready for the next half of this race. And we are about to go green. Your front row is a Dark Horse Racing front row, as Drew got wrecked under the yellow flag. Green flag in the air, Tim Moore gets the jump, gets a nice push from Ryan Steinberg. Kyle England in P2, and England lets Tim Moore in. Now here comes Parker. That's contact on the outside lane. They're going to go 3 abreast. And they're able to get things settled for now. Kyle England now going low. Parker Ness goes lower. And Ness will reassume second. Steinberg goes around the outside. And it's a side-by-side battle, second on back. Now Drew Juva's looking below Ness, can't get the spot, and Tim Moore's is watching in his mirror, and he's liking what he is seeing. Now Lyle looks through the middle, can't get the spot done on the 19, and the first time we've seen the 19 all day inside the top 3. Parker Ness is in between the two, as they are still struggling for positioning. For Kyle England, he has lost about 8 spots just on 2 laps right out of halfway. And look who's he's around again. Tyler Glass, the person he is battling to stay in the playoffs. As one car goes through the grass, is a little off-roading. That's going to be Zachary Mendez. But up front, Tim Moore still leads, followed by Parker Ness, Drew Jua, Landon Lyle. And right now, I can't tell you who's 4th or 5th because I don't know who's going to be 4th or 5th. These two are battling side by side. And that's going to be Tomahawk and Zachary Mendez. Whoever gets the spot will finally get their car into the top 5, but that's been able to kind of close the top 4 off from the rest of the field with those two being side by side. Zachary Mendez finally able to get it as Landon Lyle hits the wall hard. Pushing his car a little too much, too over the edge, and that's going to allow these top 3 to pull away. Drew Jua now looking to the outside of the 24. And just cannot get the move done. Now here comes Parker Ness. He's diving it down low to the inside. But again, just cannot get the move complete. Now Drew Jua slots up into P2, looking below Tim Moore, trying to get the move done. He sends one, but just can't get his nose under there. Tim Moore will continue to lead, and so far we've had a completely green race, getting about, give or take, 100 laps done in 53 minutes, and we are on for some good time tonight. If they keep up this pace, this race will finish quickly. the 4-car able to, after battling side by side with Tomahawk, able to get his way up inside this top 4 conversation. And Zachary, again, is in for a really good day. And, we haven't really talked about, Atlanta as a track. Atlanta track very much wears your tires to the bone. That's why I see a lot of these guys backing off in that second pack trying to save. Who can't really save as good as the top 3 as Drujua hits the wall hard. Ness and Mendez are able to get by him as Mendez tries to get another spot with the 24, but Drujua again pushing it over the limit, and that's what Atlanta also does. It's a drap track. Dirty air will send you up into the higher grooves if you play this track too aggressively. We saw that with Landon Lyle. He was trying to get too much out of the corner, and that resulted in Lyle going into the wall, and kind of resulting in where Landon Lyle is now. Now Drujua trying to gain some spots back, looking underneath the 4, just cannot get there this time by. Just cannot get to the inside. Now for the leader, Tim Moore. He's been able to lead every lap since he originally took it from Parker Ness in that 24, but can the 24 take it back finally after all this time? This 4 is in a league of their own currently. We got 2 4s, 1 Chevrolet, and 1 Toyota. And Parker Ness showed that he has, been having the best run for ORR and the VRC this season. Landon Lyle's usually the guy you look at, but last week Parker Ness barely missed down a top 10 and was the only one of his cars that made the rest of the field angry. But Chicagoland, Parker Ness, if I remember, got pulled there as well, and has been able to at Chicagoland lead a lot of laps before the eventual Tyler Glass incident. But now Parker's up here now, running solidly inside the top 2. And he's just trying to make his way past Tim Moore. He's in this top 4 pack, able to pull away from the rest of the field. But again, he just doesn't quite yet have the best car on track. But, if we have a caution, that changes everything. That, you have to bring the car down pit road, hope to not lose a lot of spots. As he's going to make the dive now, he's going to get all the way to the inside line, but again, just cannot quite get below the 22. As these drivers come back on the front straightaway. Tim Moore with Parker Ness looks high. Ooh, a little wiggle out all those drivers, a little server issues we are having currently. Now Parker Ness looking back down again to the inside line, cannot get there. Drujua will have to remain in third because he cannot pass the 24. He does not have a good run, and looks like the 4 cars just kind of playing it safe after being passed by Drujua. Knowing the cars in front of him are a little bit faster, he's just trying to hang on there. .102, and that means pit stops are just around the corner. 3 to 4 laps left, and that's what Parker Ness is hearing over his radio. Just got to survive a few more laps out there, and maybe you can get past the 22. Now, you got to take into account what Tim's been able to do. He's pitted early, been able to stay up front, and on those fresh tires, been able to leave a lot of these guys. So if I was Parker, stay on the same strategy as Tim Moore. Let him bring you along with him. Maybe you can try to beat him under